Today, I have the great pleasure, the honor, and really the joy to share the screen with somebody who has meant so much to me in my personal life and in the lives of so many millions of others. Byron Katie is the author of the book Loving What Is and founder of The Work, which you can find her work at thework.com, where Katie invites us to ask 4 questions that brings us so deeply into the present moment that we can, in fact, love what is. So, with that, I just want to say, Katie, thank you so much for coming and joining me again today for a second time. This is really such a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. Katie, what I want to ask you is, you've had your ups and you've had your downs. You've had tremendous success in your ability to help so many people in this world, but that didn't come from nowhere. That came from a deep, dark night of the soul. It came from your own series of pain and your roller coaster of a ride before coming to your own awakening. And after all this life experience so far that you've come, the question is, if you could get on a world stage and share one message with everyone, what is that one message you would want people to walk away with and carry with them as they go through their life?
Well, it's nothing we don't already understand, and that is love is the power.
And so when you say love is the power, what does that look like for you? What does that mean to you?
There's no opposite. There's an ego that is not a thing, it's a state of mind. And it attempts to come off as a physical experience, as a physical, but mind is not body. Mind is an illusion. And I mean, if I just said and you heard me say and, to take a look at that and understand that there's no proof other than what the ego offers up. So to understand the ego is, oh my goodness, what fun once you understand that it is a state of mind, not a state of physical.
Is that what you mean when you titled the book Loving What Is? What were you saying more than just that the work brings you to loving what is, but that love is what is when you get beyond all the mind stuff?
It's anything that is coming out of word or our thoughts, anything that doesn't match our heart is going to be felt like it's going to be experienced emotionally as like you're playing the piano. It's a note that's off, like dun, 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 we experience that note that's off. Well, the mind expressing itself, the ego expressing itself, when it's not true to the heart, we feel it like that. We're off key. And I love that. It's a reminder to come back to, their names were like, come back to sanity, come back home, come back to presence. This is where life is, if life is.
And what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe feeling a bit hopeless? And now you're sharing this message, which, and I echo that in my book. It's all the same to me. This idea of sameness is that there's a loving unity that pervades all of reality. It's what you're describing. And a lot of the questions that come to me is, that's very nice in concept, but currently I feel hopeless for some circumstance that's coming up in my life. What would be your one step to help them move towards that love from their position?
Yeah, I would, in my world, I identify what I'm thinking and believing that seems to be a problem or a circumstance, maybe like your situation, and just notice the judgments in one's head and then move those judgments to paper and then question those judgments without changing them, without moving them, to just know that's my thought on paper, and then give it the litmus test, judge your neighbor, write it down, ask for questions and turn it around, and then just experience what that is and what that's like and how it shifts not only one's identity, but the identity of the world as we understand it to be.
And when one does that, are they going to experience, or at least begin to start to sense, what you describe as a friendly universe once they can get out of their head, beyond their ego?
Well, it's one thing I might say is that it is a friendly universe. And anytime you experience it as not a friendly universe, notice what you're thinking and believing, move it from your mind to paper. In other words, write your thoughts down about this, what you see as an unfriendly point of view of the universe, and question it.
Right. Meaning what you're saying is the universe is friendly. That's the premise, and that's the fact. And if we're experiencing it as not friendly, we have to know that that's starting up here. That's
Yeah,
that's
it's the mind
that's
that's
the
on.
illusion we're making.
Yeah, that's exactly so, Moshe. It's not the world that's off. It's what I'm thinking and believing about the world that could use a little work.
Okay, well, we could all use a little work. And, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your energy. I appreciate all that you are and the shining presence that you bring to the world, and being a catalyst for the awakening of so many others. So thank you so much for taking just a few minutes to share that message. And I hope everybody can get that. And if people want to go see more of Byron Katie's wonderful work, they can go to thework.com, where you can find the 4 questions and a pathway to finding yourself in a deeper opportunity into presence. And it's also byronkatie.com. Is that
Mhm.
also the other site? Okay,
Mhm.
fantastic.